Would you please welcome and give a big round of applause to the amazing, the gorgeous, and the fucking sexy Grace Mulvey!
Can I just get a shout out? This is just to get a census, right? Who are you voting for? No. I'm also just like, well, who owns the house? I know how you're voting. Suddenly you're like, you know what I like, Fianna Fáil? I think they have some good points. No, I'm just really bitter. Shout it if you're single. Oh my God, the singles are all over here. Look at that. Oh, everyone in a relationship remains in the dark. You boring fucks. You're a single Pringle. What's your name, Loveen? Lauren. And what's the... Jeez, Lauren, you're very good looking. Yeah, she must have a terrible personality. No, I'm joking. It means you're smart, Lauren, okay? That's the problem. We need to fix that. What are you into, Lauren? Men, women, bread? What are we talking, babes? Men. Same as myself. Very good. Wrong decision. Yeah. Did you say it's not a competition? Sorry, I know that it's not a competition. It is. First of all, she said it is a competition. I'm like, okay. Now this is coming off as aggressive towards me on the stage. Yeah. No, there's nothing out there. That's the problem. Yeah. What age you learn? 30. Oh, fuck off. Oh, you're my competition. I'm going to be 36 soon, babes. Okay. I'm wilting in front of you. That's good. And how long have you been a single Pringle? Many years. What are you, like, you're 30. I feel like you're from the Old West. You're like, many years. I'm like, okay, peg sayers. Like, calm down. Everything's okay. Okay, are you on the dating apps? Are you on Hinge or what are you on? Bumble. Right, that's, if you don't know, for all of the people in relationships in the dark, Bumble is where the woman approaches the man first and is like, will you kill me? No? Oh. Okay, any luck now in Dublin Bumble? Yeah, okay, good, listen. Is this your conversational style on dates? What's the story? Just her like, no, what's your name? It is, it's so hard out there, it is, it's really tough, okay? And listen, you're gorgeous. Yeah, and sorry, for anyone who can't just goes, it's upsetting, I'm upset. And I'm like, you know what? I can't wait to have a drink with you after the show, but this breakdown is so poorly timed. But that's great, okay, and you're a single, does someone else say you're single as well? Oh, so gorgeous. Yeah, lads, this is really upsetting. Where are the ugly single people? What's your name, Loveen? And are you friends with Lauren? No. Okay, good. Sorry, you know what? That was actually a very pointed question. Lauren's having a very difficult time. No. So you don't know Lauren is what I've actually should have asked you. You don't know Lauren. What's the story now? And what are you into? Men. Okay, good. Yeah. So this is like a little support group we're going to have here. Very good. And what age are you loving? 30. 30. Okay, grand. Little babies. Babies. No, you're babies. You are. No, you're babies. Because if you're old, that means I'm gone. Like, you know what I mean? Have you seen The Substance? You're the younger version of me. Okay. When I peel back the skin, you come out. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. How long have you been a single Pringle? Good while. 7. Listen, it's been a great night, lads. 7 or 8 months. 7 or 8 months. Nah, stop the show. Get out, babes. Get out. I'm 5 years. I'm 5 human years. I was like that before. Before I had loads of sex. I remember that. Oh, God. No, I'm not that bad. Okay, so 5 years. I'm 5 years. I'm 5 years single. I just got my PhD. Yeah. I could teach you how to go pro, okay? This is how I make money from being single, okay? That's how single I am. I've turned to being funny. That's when you know things are bad for women. I wouldn't choose to be up here. Okay, so I should ask one more person who's in a relationship. Any relationships? Anyone? Shout out if you're in a relationship. Yeah, good for you. Delighted for you. Yeah. So you have regular sex, yeah? That's nice. That's good. Wait, are you guys in relationships here? So, like, neither's a good option, from what I... So what's your name, Loveen? Orla. And what's the crack now? Who are you in a relationship with? This person here? Is this... Sorry, it's like there's a bag left here as if a person died and didn't make it to the show. Who's... Married to 2 kids. Oh, my life's over. You're what we want to be, babes. Okay, so what's this? How long have you been married? 13 years. But you're very young looking. What, like a child bride? What age did you get married? You got married at 36? Sorry, I'm trying to do the math. Sorry, a woman on stage doing maths. I'm like, just... You're 48? Fucking hell! What are you drinking? The blood of orphans? What's the skincare regime? Loads of foundation. Very good. I love it. Okay. And how did you meet? One more question and I'll leave you alone. Okay. How did you, because you have 2 kids. People with kids shouldn't be harassed. How did you meet your husband? How did you bag him? Because there's 2 women here about to have breakdowns. You need to give them advice, okay? On a holiday? Oh my God, this is like a rom-com. What holiday? Cuba? Sorry, I'm getting banged up abroad vibes here. I'm like, yeah, you know, he just said, could you just bring this suitcase back with you to Ireland? And like, oh my God, that is so cool. So, you're sorry, I mean, I feel like you did something illegal, so I will leave you alone, but that is so cool. Oh my God. And is he an Irish guy or a Cuban guy? He's oh. By the way, I just want every Irishman to take in that reaction. That's how shit Irishmen are. That we were like, Cuban, oh, like every woman just came. Like, that's insane. Oh, I bet he has a symmetrical face, does he? I'd say it's amazing. Oh, I'd say the bone structure, oh. Stop. Okay, listen. That's amazing. Right, I actually should get into some stand-up, guys. So, guys, well done you, though, well done you. No wonder you're so young looking. That Cuban cigar, you know. Anyway, listen, lads. Okay, how horny am I? Okay, so my name's Grace, guys, as you well know. This is my show, Tall Baby, and this is the last time I'm doing the show. I know. I'm recording it and everything, so I'm really enjoying the pantomime reactions you're giving me here. Am I really enjoying it? The reason I did this show, okay, and the reason why it's called Tall Baby is I decided at the age of 33 to change my life, okay? And the reason I did that is because on my birthday, on my 33rd birthday, my mother rang me up to wish me a happy birthday and remind me I've ruined her life, okay? My head got stuck during childbirth and she's never forgiven me. It's a war zone down there, gentlemen, okay? An Oppenheimer, if you will. I know what film they saw. My mum rings me up and she goes, 33, Grace, 33. The same age Jesus was when he died. I was like, is that a threat? Do you want me to die for your sins or something? And I don't need this right now, guys, okay? Comparing myself to Jesus, because let's be honest, the guy was a bit of an overachiever, right? That little Nepo baby. By the age of 33, he had created a religion. He had 12 very good mates he saw regularly. 11. Judas was a frenemy at best. And 3, we've lost in the crucifix. The guy was ripped, okay? He had abs. Yeah. He was the original definition of CrossFit. I don't need this right now, okay? I know my mum was joking with me, right, when she said that, but it actually did get to me. Because when I was 33, guys, we were just coming out of the pandemic, okay? I had been single for the entire pandemic, right? I was working in a tech job. I just won a comedy award. And I wanted to change my life. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like as a society, didn't we come out of the pandemic believing we were owed a good time? We were like, after everything we did. Now, 2 years later, it's been a hellscape, and guess what? Trump's back. But we did. We believed we were owed a good time. Okay, so I decided to change my life. Now, if you're going to change your life, step 1 of changing your life, you have a glow-up. Okay? If you don't know what a glow-up is like a phone software update, but for women. Okay? But the things about globes that they don't tell you, they're expensive. They are expensive. Okay, you know those women who look amazing? Their hair is voluminous. Their skin is luminous. Their forehead looks like a steamroller's been taken to it. Yeah. Those women are in financial ruin. Those bitches are broke, okay? And by the way, I'm not judging them. I want to be one of those women, okay? But I should choose between looking good or following my dreams. You can see what I've chosen, right? But I still try. Like I put on primer today. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. But I do know it's step 1 of a 12-step skincare regime that a 19-year-old dancing TikTok star told me I needed to do. I get my eyebrows done. A lot of people get their eyebrows done. I pay £25 for a woman to pour hot wax near my eyeballs, right? The windows of the soul, right? And then I leave that place looking like an angry Lego. I get my hair done every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks, £130. £130. £130. £130. Okay, every 6 weeks I pay £130 and I end up looking like Edna from The Incredibles. Doesn't matter how they do it, it's still the same, okay? Getting your hair done is expensive for women. Okay, for men, for some reason, it still costs like 2 shillings. I don't understand. And for 2 shillings, you get a haircut, a hot towel shave, and a first-class ticket on the Titanic. I don't know how you do it, okay? This is why you rule the world. I got laser done. That's what I really invested in my glow up. I got laser done. Anyone here get laser? Yeah. Anyone here ever get laser on their foot? Okay, so here's what happened. I went to get a pedicure, okay? Because I deserve it. You know, I just survived a pandemic. I deserve it, right? I went to get a pedicure and the nail technician informed me that I have a fungal toenail infection. Quite loudly. Everyone around her reacted like she had said bomb on a plane. They were like, whoa. By the way, as a term, fungal toenail infection is dramatic, okay? The nail's a little yellow, right? It's not growing a mushroom out of it. This isn't The Last of Us. I'm not taking out society, okay? Thank you. I'll talk to you after the show. You're just trying to diagnose me on stage. This is how desperate the HSE are. We're going show to show, folks. Please don't stop coming into the ER. But anyway, I left that place like a leper. And I immediately looked up treatments. Because guys, back in the day, right, if you let a fungal toenail infection get bad enough, they'd remove the toenail. I'm a 35-year-old single girlie, okay? And there's a lot of men out there with foot fetishes, right? I need to keep this toe tight. Okay? This little piggy needs a facelift, right? So I found out you can get laser done, okay? It's very expensive, very expensive. I won't tell you how much. I won't tell you how much, Cuba. I won't tell you how much. But I went to a very posh part of Dublin, okay, where everyone works in finance and the local, dialect is an Excel formula. And I went to a very posh, upscale cosmetic facility, all white interiors, and I took out my little Quasimodo foot, okay? And I showed the podiatrist. The podiatrist looked at it for a good 30 seconds, and then she goes, "That's not a fungal toenail infection." She said, "That's foot trauma." She said, "Your foot is traumatised." Now, lads, I thought she meant my foot is traumatised in the sense that it has to carry around my weight, which I was like, first of all, that's fatphobic. And secondly, anti-immigrant. I don't know how. But no, foot trauma, it's a real thing. You know, every time you stub your toe, it traumatises the toe. And if you're unlucky like me, it lifts the nail off the nail bed. Yeah. I won't lie to you. I consider myself a very liberal person. I believe in all forms of trauma. I think as a society, we are all suffering from post-pandemic trauma. I do. Okay, I don't think we've fully processed what we went through during the pandemic. I believe in generational trauma. I think you can inherit trauma from your ancestors. Make one potato joke to an Irish person, see what happens, okay? But the moment I heard the term foot trauma, a little Fox News presenter came out of me. And I was like, that's some millennial bullshit. You're telling me my toe needs a mental health day, right? This little snowflake has one job, right? Anyway, I asked the podiatrist, I said, will the laser work on the foot trauma, or am I going to have to get some sort of antidepressant? And she said it might work, it might. She said, but you're going to have to help it along. She said, it's going to be a journey. Everything's a journey these days, isn't it? I'm not Bilbo Baggins. I just want to pay someone to fix the problem. Anyway, I got the laser. I won't even tell you how much, £300. I got the laser. It looks 30 again. But next thing you want to do if you're going to change your life, change location. Okay, I moved to London at the age of 33, all on my own, like the little brave baby that I am. And much like my Irish ancestors before me who came over on coffin ships, I got a 40-minute Ryanair flight. Same vibes. I moved over to the UK in 2022 in what I like to call the UK's messy bitch era, okay? Because worldwide in 2022 there was a cost of living crisis. But when I moved over to the UK, they also had like a sexy little food shortage, okay? Yeah, they ran out of tomatoes. Yeah. They had a tomato famine. I was like, famines follow me everywhere. And then every time I went into a supermarket, they were like, we're running low on eggs, we're running low on eggs. I was like, what are you, my fucking gynecologist? I know. But don't you, when you move over to another country, don't you become much more proud of your nationality? You do. Like, I'm more Irish in London than I am in Ireland. And even that was stripped away from me. When a few months ago, I was flying through Stansted Airport and I was getting a 6 a.m. Ryanair flight because this actually isn't going very well for me. I went to get a coffee and the barista, I don't know if it's gendered. I'm not J.K. Rowling, I'm trying to be sound, okay? The barista, a young English lad, heard my accent and he started talking to me in Irish. By the way, I found out afterwards this guy has nothing to do with Ireland. He just wants to learn the language. Okay, he basically said, hello, who are you? He was like, Dia Gwitch. I was like, Dia swear Gwitch. He's like, could have thought to. I was like, Tommy Gama, August 2. And he was like, Tommy Gama. Now that's all the Irish I have. Okay? This guy kept going. He was Ross Narooning it, okay? I'm not going to lie to you, lads. I felt like my Irishness was under threat, okay? Because my great-grandparents, they fought in the Irish War of Independence. They didn't, but like... My great-grandparents didn't fight in the Irish War of Independence in order for me to be out-Irished by an Englishman. You know what I mean? So I pretended to understand what he was saying. I went along with it. I was like, yeah, good tubbin, yeah. Until eventually he asked me a question. And I just had to admit it. I was like, man, I'm really sorry. I actually don't know what you're saying. And he goes, oh, is it because of my accent? And I was like, yes. You're speaking the King's Irish. I couldn't possibly understand. I was like, give me the Banya, bitch. I became a true Londoner. I became a true Londoner last year when my house was broken into. Yeah, it was a nice little Hackney welcome. Now listen, I live in a very old-fashioned London house where the bathroom is like downstairs behind the kitchen. You know, one of those old-fashioned houses. And I came back at 1 a.m, all right, and I went straight to the bathroom. And the top window in the bathroom had been ripped off its hinges. And there was a fully formed footprint in the bath. Now, I could tell there was no one in the house, so I ran upstairs to see what the damage was, right? Opened my bedroom door, shock of my life. Lads, they'd taken nothing. Now, at first, I was like, oh my God, they've taken nothing. And then I was like, oh, they've taken nothing. Like my laptop was sitting on the bed, asking for it, right? My jewellery, untouched. Most insultingly of all, my Irish passport was thrown on the ground. Now, lads, that passport is tucked away in a drawer, which means the robber would have had to come in, open the drawer, rustle through it, got the passport, looked at the photo and went, nah, you're all right. Not tonight, love, you know? Do you know how valuable an Irish passport is? 18,000 pounds. Anyway, I rang the police. Now, I know it's odd to ring the police when nothing's been taken, but I always think, no matter how much you think you're an adult, when the shit hits the fan, aren't you looking for the real adults to come in and fix the problem? And technically speaking, the police are government-sponsored adults, right? Yeah, they're the most adults of us all. So myself and my housemates waited for our government-subsidised adults to arrive. And in fairness to the police, they came, 3 hours later. 4 a.m, this guy rocks up. Now, this guy was saying in his 50s. There was one police officer, and he came in. And the moment he came in, I realised I wasn't dealing with the line of duty lads here, okay? Like, I wasn't getting the top brass, right? This guy came in with the aura of a nosy neighbour, okay? And I knew he was having a tough shift, because the first thing he said to me was, "You won't believe the night I've had." He was like, call after call after call. Idiots. And he goes, "Right, show me round," as if this is a house viewing. Anyway, I brought him to the bathroom and I showed him the window, and he goes, "Yeah, I'd say that's the point of entry." And I was like, "That's what I was thinking too. Good, yeah. We're vibing now, like we're on it." He missed the footprint, so I was like, "There's a footprint here." And this guy starts making jokes. He goes, "Huh, big foot. You know what they say about men with big feet?" I was like, "Oh, they don't become police officers." Anyway, I brought him upstairs to show him my room, and I said, "You know what's weird is they haven't taken anything." And he goes, "That's actually not weird." He said, "Usually," this is a nice little fun fact, "when someone breaks into your house, they're looking for one particular thing, whether it's electronics or cash or drugs. And if they don't find it, they're not going to take anything else." Which I was like, it's nice to hear robbers have like a more restraint than I do on a diet, but great. I'm outside, they didn't take my laptop. He said, "Okay." I said, "They didn't take my jewellery." He looked at my jewellery and went, "Yeah." Anyway, I left my passport on the ground because I was like, evidence, forensics. I said, "He didn't take my passport." And he goes, "An Irish passport?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's worth something." I was like, "I know." Anyway, he goes around the rest of the house. He doesn't even take notes. And then he goes downstairs and he goes to leave. And I was like, "Whoa, sorry, sorry. What's going to happen next?" And he goes, "Well, I could write a report, but nothing's been taken." And I was like, this isn't good enough. I was like, someone broke into my home. Like, surely that's illegal. And then he got thick with me. He got very angry at me. And he goes, "You know, you should consider yourself very lucky." He's like, "You won't believe the things I've seen on my 20 plus years in the force." He's like, "Imagine this. Imagine someone broke into your house and they shit in your bed." And I was like, that's the worst thing you've seen in 20 years. I was like, man, I've shit in my own bed, you know? Adults never come in the form you think they're going to come in, don't they not? They don't. But, you know, it's hard moving to a new place on your own. And ever since I've moved to London, I've been doing a lot of crying in public. London's actually my favourite place to cry in public, if I'm honest. No one gives a shit. Oh, you could cry for days, no one would stop you. I particularly like crying in the parks in London because it's the only place I don't get charged any money. A flat white's £5. Crying is free. And then I found out what the UK council tax is, and I was like, oh, I actually do pay for this. Anyway, I've noticed a big difference culturally between how the Irish and English react to big displays of emotion. Like the English, they're so repressed. They react to big displays of emotion the same way they react to their history. They're like, that did not just happen. I don't think so. The Irish, though, we're very good at handling big emotions, aren't we? We're very good at it, okay? Because we're dramatic. Like if you cry in public in Ireland, out of nowhere, a glass of whiskey will just be gently placed into your hand. Enya will start singing from her castle. All right? And then a perfect stranger will come up to you and they'll ask you what's wrong. And not only will they listen to you, they'll also tell you the most traumatic story you've ever heard about a person neither of you know. They'll be like, there was once a woman with a limp. She never got to see the ocean. Yet she died at sea. And you're like, oh God, what a mysterious cruelty. I do feel sorry for men, though, I have to say I do. Because particularly straight men, you don't get to cry in public, don't you not? You're straight, yeah, you don't. You get to murder, but you don't get to cry. I don't know if that's linked, I'm not just, you know, I'm not that smart. But women, every woman has cried in public at some point in her life, haven't they? Mostly in a shop changing room. We all know why. Because shop changing rooms use the lighting of an interrogation room so that my naked body looks like a melting candle. And there's always one woman in the shop changing room loudly saying, sorry, can I get this in a smaller size? The size 10 is just too big on me. While I'm stuck in a dress like this. Feeling like James Franco in that film 127 Hours, thinking, I'm going to have to cut my own arm off to get out of this thing. I tell you, there's no louder sound in the shop changing room than the tear of clothing as you're trying to take it off. And then you have to give an Oscar-winning performance to the sales assistant and be like, yeah, you know, I think I'll leave it. Yeah. Didn't suit me. Didn't suit me. Looks like the Hulk burst out of that dress. But you know what? That's why men need sports, isn't it? Particularly straight men. Yes, you can cry in public, yeah. Have you ever seen the way straight men react to a football match? It's fucking insane. They're screaming, crying, hugging each other. They're like, Arsenal! Arsenal! And what they're really trying to say is, I'm finding everything a bit overwhelming at the moment. Arsenal! Arsenal! I don't think my friends like me very much. Ole, 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 ole. My daddy never hugged me. You know? Bless him. I don't let women off the hook, though. I don't. Okay, I won't let women off the hook. Because we have our own version, women, of football hooliganism, don't we? Yeah. And women's version of football hooliganism is bottomless brunch. Yeah, bottomless brunch. Yeah. Women go feral at bottomless brunch, okay? Now, if you don't know what bottomless brunch is, okay? Bottomless brunch is where a group of women in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, who haven't been together in a long time, for good reason, decide to get together at 11 a.m. and have 3 bottles of Prosecco each and 1 poached egg. And then they're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know how it went so wrong. The last time I went to bottomless brunch, I said never again. Okay, it was just after the robbery in London, and a group of my Irish mates came over, and they insisted we go on to bottomless brunch. Now I'm going to change their names due to GDPR reasons, but I think a few of them are here anyway. No, they're not. But let's say Christina. Christina's the organizer of the group. She put together the WhatsApp group Brunch Bitches. Now, Christina is usually great crack. But when she's organising something like this, her messages get more and more aggressive to the point where you realise if you cancel, she will shiv you, okay? Even the drag queen who's hosting the brunch is scared of Christina, right? Then you have Siobhan. Siobhan's the new mammy of the group, okay? This is her first outing since the baby. 2 mimosas in. Siobhan's telling you how her pelvic floor looks at the aftermath of 9/11. Throughout the entire brunch, she's doing Kegels. Everyone know what Kegels are? Yeah, you scrunch up your bum to kind of strengthen your pelvic floor. Now, you're not meant to be able to tell when someone's doing it. But in Siobhan's drunken state, her face keeps giving her away when every few minutes she's in the corner like this, doing the Kegels. Then you've got Jessica. Jessica's the Kardashian of the group, okay? She's always done up to the nines. She's marinating in fake tan for the last 24 hours. She arrives to bottomless brunch looking like Charlotte Tilbury sat in her face. She's recording the entire brunch for her Instagram stories, okay? Constantly getting Siobhan in the background doing the Kegels. And then you have Aoife. Aoife's the conservative of the group, okay? And when I say conservative, I just mean she still uses Facebook. You know, an hour in, Aoife's telling you vaccines give you wings. It's fine. By the end of this brunch, right, one woman had pissed herself. The drag queen was crying. And another woman had admitted to having postpartum depression, even though she never had a baby. And you know who they felt sorry for? Me. Because I'm single. Yeah. And I'm the one who pissed herself. Turns out I should be doing the Kegels, okay? But no, when I decided to change my life at 33, guys, I didn't envision myself pissing myself at bottomless brunch, okay? Because when I turned 33, as I said, I won a big comedy award. It was a big deal, right? I was like, you know what, I'm going to quit my tech job. I'm going to move to London. I'm going to do comedy full time. Look at me now. And then I got to London and I was like, it's expensive here. So I immediately got a temp job. Now, I have a very unusual temp job, okay? I'm a right-to-work auditor. Now, if you don't know what that is, because of Brexit, right, which we can all agree, a fantastic move. Because of Brexit, the UK have new immigration laws, right? And because of these immigration laws, every company has to make sure that their thousands of employees are up to date with these immigration laws, or else the government can come in and fine them. So it's basically my job to go in and make sure, you know, every employee has their up-to-date documents on file. It should be a boring job. It should be a boring job, okay? As you can imagine, every foreigner like myself, when I asked for their documentation, had it in to be fairly lively. Because in the UK, up until 5 minutes ago, we were all being threatened to be sent to Rwanda. But I also have to ask the British employees to prove that they're British. No, I don't know if you've ever asked a middle-aged white woman from Derbyshire to prove that she's British, but it's fucking hilarious. And I know exactly why they hired an Irish person to do this job, okay? The Irish, we have funny accents and we're charming as fuck, okay? And the thing is, the Irish, we know this. We lean into this. We like being seen as the cheeky little brother of the world, okay? Like the Irish culturally appropriate, but we culturally appropriate ourselves, right? Because we're desperate to be liked and we love money. Like, think about it. If you go to London, you've got the Big Ben. Paris, Eiffel Tower. If you come to Dublin, our capital city, our main tourist attraction is the Guinness Storehouse. Yeah, we're like, come see where we make the magic potion of Ireland. Yeah, we're like the Willy Wonka of Stout. Come this way, kids, okay? We don't care, right? So when I'm on the phone to a British person, they're very angry. I've asked them to prove that they're British. What I do is I tend to up the Irish accent, okay? I become a talking leprechaun. And I don't mind culturally whoring myself out because I was raised by my father, okay? And my father's parenting mantra is humiliation is good for the soul. When I was growing up, my dad liked to publicly embarrass myself and my siblings so that we'd never feel a sense of shame. You know, we'd always follow our dreams. And look where it's led. I'm 35. But you know, give you an example. One time my dad collected me from Irish dancing. Okay, I was about 11, perfect tween age, right? And he collected me and my friend and we got stuck in traffic on the way home. And myself and my friend were in the back of the car, you know, just being cool 11-year-olds, being like, I'm going to do this jig and I'm going to do this fesh, you know, cool. And my dad was sitting in the front of the car and he obviously got bored. And he goes, you know, I'm a great dancer. I can do loads of Irish dancing. And I was like, Dad, shut up. No, you can't. The state of you. The moment the traffic light turned red, my dad turned off the engine, got out of the car, and started dancing in traffic. The van behind us perfectly lit him up, okay? And the van driver stuck his head out the window and goes, "Go on, sexy!" and starts beeping the horn. I was screaming. So come to modern day, and someone's shouting at me on the phone. I don't care, okay? And I always find with angry people, they just want to be heard, and then they'll calm down. But there was one woman it didn't work with, no matter how much Irish charm I put on it. I'm going to call this woman Kenty, right? Because it rhymes with her general vibe. Kenty rings me up and she's fuming. I've asked for her British passport. She starts out at a 10. She's like, "How dare you? I've never been more insulted in my life." And I was like, oh God, Kenty. Sure isn't my mother a cup of tea and my father a sod of turf. Oh, Kenty, if you wouldn't mind, send me a beautiful copy of that British passport now and we'll be done with it. And she said, do you think I'm an immigrant? Now, lads, she hit the word immigrant a bit hard for my liking, okay? And I said, well, you know, sure, Kenty, haven't I an immigrant? And don't I have a great time here on your Anglo-English shores? And she said, you're not an immigrant. And I was like, well, I'm Irish, I am an immigrant. She goes, no, you're from the British Isles. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh God, Kenty, we've fought so many wars. I was like, oh, well, no, I am an immigrant, I'm Irish. She's like, you're not an immigrant, you're British. I was like, well, I'd love for you to prove that you're British. We ended up just having a shouting match. I got angry. No, I hate when I get angry because it just means I've lost control, okay? So I decided to stop and make a compromise. Because, lads, I'm not the UN. I actually want to achieve something here, okay? So, UN jokes. But anyway, so what I did was like, you know what, Kenty, I'm asking for a copy of your British passport. I'll send you a copy of mine. I sent her a copy of my Irish passport. I can't get it stolen in London anyway. I might as well. And in fairness to Kenty, the moment she got a copy of it, she said, okay, fine. She sent me a copy of hers. We said goodbye. I'm joking. She made a complaint to HR. And now she has a copy of my passport. 18 grand richer, okay? If she plays her cards right. But that's what adulting is, isn't it? Adulting is, you know, you can either be right or you can be happy. I've decided to be happy, right? And I don't feel like an adult, though. I don't, okay? I don't have children, okay? I don't have children, right? And I don't have children because I have, in fact, met children. I'm not sold, if I'm honest. I think having children is a pyramid scheme. Have you ever seen the way new parents try and sell you on having kids? Yeah, they're bleeding from the eyes. They haven't washed in days. They're like, I've never felt more joy. You're like, you're in a cult. But But I have 2 nieces though, and I love them. I love my nieces. I've got a newborn niece. She's fresh out the oven. They don't tell you this about newborns, but they're weird looking things. Okay, let's all agree. Every newborn comes out the womb looking like a 60-year-old construction worker smoking 20 a day. Okay, and they're always looking for a nipple, the little perverts. But I will say, credit where credit's due. I think parenting is the most difficult job in the world. Shout out if you're a parent here. Yeah, they're dying in front of us. This is insane. Get every single one of them a bag of heroin. I don't know if heroin comes in a bag, but something for them. It is the most difficult job in the world. I will say though, that I think millennial parents are making it a bit more difficult than it needs to be. Okay, can we agree? Have you seen the way children are dressed these days? I shouldn't look at a baby and be like, I have that exact same outfit. Yeah. 80s and 90s kids, we were not dressed well, okay? We weren't. We had one good outfit a year, and that was like at Christmas. And that's because 80s and 90s parenting was your mum raised you and your dad was also there. Your mum did not have time to find outfits every day of the week, okay? Like every photo from my childhood, I'm in skin-tight bike shorts, a big jumper, and for some reason I'm standing in an industrial estate. Angela's Ashes vibes, okay? I don't know. The first time I babysat my niece, right, my brother left a list of instructions on how to dress this child. I was pissed off, okay? First thing on the list, he said, don't forget her Nike trainers. Nike trainers? This child can't walk. And no amount of just do it is going to make her, okay? Also, have you ever tried to put a baby's foot in a shoe? They have like one bone, okay? It's like putting Play-Doh back in the tube. You're just smashing it in. Next thing on the list, he said, make sure to put in her hair clips. Hair clips. This child has Homer Simpson level hair, okay? She looks like she should be on a flight to Turkey. I took her 2 hairs, right? Did a little comb over. Clipped it to her ear. There was nowhere else to put it. And then the outfit he left out for her, right? A beautiful cardigan and a jumpsuit. A jumpsuit. Do you know how difficult it is to get a jumpsuit off a creature that's desperate to go to the toilet? Yeah. What do you think I was wearing when I pissed myself at Bottomless brunch? I was 33, I didn't make it in time, okay? But just because I don't have children, right, doesn't mean I don't know what it's like to have children. Because I do, in fact, have 2 parents in their 60s. Now, I want to ask y'all a question here. What age is it that your parents decide to no longer be functional members of society? Because for me, it's when my parents hit their 60s, right? When my dad turned 60, the man became a walking whoopee cushion, right? I haven't been able to stand behind him in years, right? My mum, who up until this point has been a very impressive person, my mum at the age of 40 with 3 kids, right, went back to university to retrain. Like, that's impressive, okay? The moment she turned 60, it's like she was dropped here from another planet, okay? She doesn't know how anything works. And every conversation with her is an emergency. The last time I was coming home to Dublin, I rang my mum up and I said, Mum, I'm going to be home this week. I was wondering if on Saturday you wanted to go to the local pub to get dinner. And she was like, what? What are you even saying to me right now? And I was like, okay, I'm coming home this week. I was wondering if on Saturday you wanted to get dinner in the local pub. And she goes, I was going to defrost a chicken. I was like, okay, well, it's Tuesday now. Have you started defrosting it? And she goes, no. And I was like, well, then don't. And she goes, what time is this supposed dinner going to happen? I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 p.m. I have Mairead over for a coffee at 1. I was like, right, well, that's 6 hours now to have that coffee with Mairead. Do you think you can do 2 things in one day? And she said, okay. And then she goes, well, what time is it now? Why would it matter what time it is now? By the way, this woman is surrounded by clocks. Surrounded by clocks. It's very difficult. But no, when I moved over to London, my mum was convinced I was going to meet the love of my life. She was like, "Oh, you're a modern girl, Grace. It's like a rom-com. You're going to step off the plane in London and a gust of wind will take you into the arms of the man of your dreams." And she goes, "You deserve that now, you deserve that." Okay. And the reason my mum thought I deserved that, right, is because everything I've been through. Now, just to warn you here, right, this is the part of the show where I reveal the theme of the show. And in comedy, when we say theme, we mean trauma. And foot trauma isn't going to cut it, if I'm honest. I need to give you something a bit sexier, okay? Now, the thing is, I don't love dwelling on all my traumas in my life, right? So what I decided to do for this show is I'm just going to tell you every bad thing that ever happened to me in 30 seconds, right? Much like every woman you meet in the smoking area on a night out. I'm just going to list it through and then we can move past it. How does that sound? Okay, brilliant, let's go. Right. So, we've had loads of terminal illnesses in my family. I've been to about 20 funerals, spoken at 5 because I can put on a good show. We lost 3 beloved cousins to cystic fibrosis. I've had 2 eating disorders, none of them stuck. My body likes to retain weight, it's fine, okay? My ancestors survived the famine, no potatoes, no problem. And the day after my 30th birthday party, right, a few weeks after my cousin died, myself and my long-term boyfriend broke up. We couldn't handle the grief, okay? And then, at the age of 64, my dad was diagnosed with dementia. Now, all of this happened by the time I was 33, which, you know, depending on who you talk to, is unusual, right? But I'm going to tell you the one thing I cannot accept of that trauma list I just gave you, right? The thing I can't accept is I still have to do online dating. Doesn't that seem wrong to you? Yeah. Like when you've gone through so much trauma, you still have to be like, how many siblings do you have? 2? Yeah, that's about average, yeah, wow. But I want to meet someone, so I have to keep doing it. And I find it really difficult, if I'm honest. Online dating is very tough. What I've decided to do is change my kind of way of approaching it. I make it a bit more fun for myself. Like if I'm going on a date, I put on some music, I have a glass of vino, I tweeze a stray nipple hair, I'm out the door, right? Yeah. You can't let them get too long, you could plait them. But I will say the one thing, right, that straight women find so difficult in modern dating about dating straight men is, apart from all the murder, it's the state of the dating profile pictures, lads. They're bad. They're really bad. This is the epidemic we need to talk about, okay? Straight men take bad photos, right? And the reason is, okay, because straight men do not understand the female gaze. Straight men were never taught to understand what women actually find attractive. So straight men end up putting up photos that other straight men will enjoy. Like, there's always a photo of a guy holding a massive fish. Now, I know straight men look at that and go, I wonder where he got that fish. Women look at it and go, I suppose it's good he likes the smell of fish. All those shirtless gym selfies, I know men look at that and like, oh, what's his workout routine? How did he get those gains? Women look at it and go, I do not have the kitchen cabinet space for the vat of protein powder this man is going to bring to my home. And then in every profile, inevitably, the guy says, looking for a girl who doesn't take herself too seriously. Underneath a photo of him looking like a serial killer. Terrifying. I have to say, though, I blame the sorry state of modern dating on millennials and Gen Z. I blame it on us. We've ruined dating. Okay, lads, we're too honest. We are too honest. We think intimacy is telling someone every single thought that goes through your mind, right? What we neglect to understand is that dating is pretending, okay? Dating is pretending you're normal, right? The relationship is where you find out you're both mentally ill, okay? And you hope that the mental illnesses work well together, you know? Like multiple personality disorder and insomnia, you know? You'll always have someone to talk to, okay? When I'm on dates, I'm acting. I'm the Daniel Day-Lewis of pretending I'm the chillest girl you've ever met. I'm like, yeah, let's get a glass of wine. I'm not worried about my back fat, you're insane. And he's like, yeah, I'll buy this round. There's no cost of living crisis. You know, it's a dance, okay? Because dating is two people pretending to be adults when we're actually two tall babies eating gnocchi, right? And what is gnocchi? No one knows. No one knows. It's a mystery, right? The only thing that bothers me about dating is when someone bursts the bubble of this pretense. Like, I was on a second date recently, right? The first date had gone really well in the sense that he'd asked me a question about myself and I was like, oh, I'll see you again. I know, I'm too picky. The food was coming to the table, right? And out of nowhere, this guy stops talking. And he takes a packet of tablets out of his bag. And he takes 2 tablets. Now, I'd had a couple of vinos, and I'm a fucking idiot. And I grabbed the packet. IBS tablets. Now, here's the thing, lads. I'm not here to rain down on the IBS community. I'd have an IBS pride parade tomorrow if I could, okay? With Portaloos, obviously. But it's not exactly an aphrodisiac of a conversation on a second date. And why are you taking the tablets at the table? Have a bit of pride and go to the bathroom like a cokehead, okay? Like, imagine I took off my shoe and was like, have you ever heard of foot trauma? No! You only get to see this if you love me, okay? As I mentioned before, I'm straight. Shout it if you're straight. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing being straight. Being straight makes no sense. Being straight means you have to teach someone of the opposite sex how to use your bits, okay? It's like handing an Android to an iPhone user and being like, turn that on. Just watching them fumble with the settings, you know what I mean? Pathetic. No one was more surprised than my parents that I'm straight, okay? Yeah, I really gaslit my parents into thinking I was gay as a kid. To give you a bit of context, right, I grew up in 90s Ireland. There was no queer culture to speak of at that time. The queerest thing that was happening in 90s Ireland was that we kept winning the Eurovision. But as I was growing up, I had a pack of 20 different coloured markers because I'm middle class, right? I was a weird kid. I didn't colour in with these markers. I'd play with them like dolls, and I put them into couples by colour. Right? Blue and pink were the popular couple. Black and purple were like the cool couple. The grey marker was just a local pervert. And then I announced to my parents that lime green and orange were 2 boys who were in love. So, you know, my mum and my Irish Catholic parents were like, okay, we'll keep an eye on this one. She's brewing, right? Then when I was 8, I called my dad a lesbian. Now... Here's the thing, I actually didn't know what the word meant. I was dared to do it, okay? But me and my friend knew it was a word that kind of shocked people, okay? So I ran into the front room where my dad was watching rugby with his mates. And I was like, hey, Dad, you're a lesbian. He was furious. He was like, get up to your room. I ran upstairs crying, okay? Because I never got in trouble with my dad. And he came up a few minutes later, right? And I could tell he was conflicted because he knew I'd actually tried to say a bad word. So he comes up and he says, you know, Grace, there's actually nothing wrong with being a lesbian, okay? You just can't go around calling middle-aged men lesbians. And I was like, why? And he told me why. And he explained what a lesbian is. And then he said, and you know, Grace, whoever you are when you're older, I'll always love you. I'll always accept you. Isn't that great parenting? Yeah. Yeah, I think he bought a book. I'm not going to say that's just down to him, okay? But the problem is that over the years, right, as I haven't come out as gay, and I've been single most of my adult life, my dad has never quite believed me that I'm straight, okay? And he's always let me know that he'd be totally chill if I came out, right? You know, he just randomly over the years send me pictures of celebrities he thinks are gay and be like, she's doing great. Like one time he sent me a picture of Serena Williams and I was like, Dad, she's not gay, she's just really good at tennis. But you know. Anyway, he finally accepted that I'm straight. And then when I moved to London, I moved to Hackney and I started living with lesbians. And my dad was like, finally! I was like, no, still straight. But best decision I ever made, living with lesbians. I think everyone should live with a lesbian at some point in their life. Wall-to-wall Birkenstocks, it's insane. The one thing I find very difficult about living with lesbians is that I have to deal with lesbian dating, okay? Which for a straight woman is very triggering because lesbian dating is like looking into a parallel universe of what could be. Like my housemate Lily and her girlfriend, and when I say girlfriend, they had their first date 2 months ago and now they have a homemade pesto business. It's delicious. And then Emily and her girlfriend, okay, just celebrated their 1 year anniversary, okay? And Emily's girlfriend is like a Girl Scout leader. So for their anniversary, Emily got her a bespoke Girl Scout badge that says best at fingering with this on it. Is that not the most romantic thing you've ever heard? And I'm on dates like, so how's your IBS triggered? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was living with the lesbians when I went on my first ever date in London, right? And I'm the first straight woman to live in that house, so they were very worried about my safety, because again, I can't overstate it. Men do be murdering. And Lily in particular was very worried about my safety. And so she insisted that when I go on the date, I send her the location of the date and a picture of the guy, and I said, no problem. What I neglected to tell Lily was that I had a very early morning flight to Dublin the next day. And on my date, my phone broke. And when I say broke, I was looking for something in my bag, put my phone in my mouth, tripped, and bit it. This happened at 1 a.m. My flight was at 6 a.m., okay? So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have to run home, grab my bags, go straight to the airport. I didn't see anyone, I didn't tell anyone, and I couldn't text anyone. Okay, the next morning, Lily wakes up and messages me, how's the date? No response. A few hours later, she messages again and goes, it must be going well, just check in with me. No response. Then Lily goes up and checks my room. And much like the robbery, it was untouched. And then Lily panics. And Lily does what every woman does. And she starts to imagine the documentary that she's going to have to take part in about this missing Irish woman. And Lily was like, I'm not going to be the stupid bitch in the documentary who was like, didn't see her for 5 weeks, didn't think anything of it. No. Lily was like, I'm going to be the hero of this documentary, okay? Immediately, Lily goes on Instagram. She messages me, my brother, my sister, my mother. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't see the messages. And my family are like Amish or something. They were raising a barn. They didn't see them either, okay? Then Lily waits for the pub to open. She rings the pub. And she goes, I need you to check your CCTV footage and check if my housemate left with her date. And they said, no problem. They said, send us an email with a picture of your housemate and a physical description. I got to read that email. I'm not going to lie to you, lads. Lily was fairly blunt at this stage. She was quite worried. Under physical description, the first 2 words were broad build. And I was like, Lily... Then beside that, short, black hair, black glasses, black fringe, black dress, Edna from The Incredibles again. And then the last thing she writes, wearing Spanx. And I was like, Lily... Just in case she's not as broad as you think she's going to be, you know what I mean? The pub ring back. The pub ring back and they say, yeah, we can see your housemate leaving with her date, phone in mouth. And Lily then really panics. And Lily sends me one more message on Instagram. She says, if you do not contact me in the next hour, I'm going to the police. I'm posting on social media that you're missing. And then in capital letters, she said, and then I'm going to the papers. Which I was like... I can see the headline now, Irish slag found in Ireland. You know what I mean? Where she belongs is the Daily Mail. But, See, think about it at this point, guys. Ever since I've decided to change my life, right, I've been diagnosed with foot trauma. I pissed myself at Bottomless brunch. I've been accused of being British. And I've had a missing persons report. And then a few months after moving to London, my dad, who had been diagnosed with dementia, was cycling home one day and his front wheel burst. And even though he was wearing a helmet, he hit the ground with such force, he got a brain injury and it accelerated his dementia, and he now lives full-time in a care home. Now, don't feel too sorry for us, my family. We're dealing with it very well, and we just try and spend as much time with them as possible. And also, let's be honest, lads, my dad can't remember anything, okay? Dementia jokes are a victimless crime. Now, if you're uncomfortable, you're just gonna have to get on board. Now, here's the thing. What I found most difficult about my dad's dementia journey is the things he has forgotten. The first major thing my dad forgot, he forgot that I'm straight. The man's convinced I'm gay. Now here's the thing, we just go along with it. Sure, why not, okay? But the only problem is my dad's vocabulary has started to shorten. So every time he sees me now, he's like, there's the gay. And I'm like... Bring a little badge, I'm best at something, Dad. It's weird as well what people say to you when you're with someone with dementia. They say the oddest things. Like I was with my dad a few months back and he was in hospital and he's losing the ability to go to the toilet on his own, so he's wearing a nappy and he was having a bit of an emergency. The nappy was slipping. I was trying to get him to the bathroom. I called for a nurse because he's a big guy, right? And a lovely Eastern European nurse who I'd never laid eyes on came to the door and she stopped dead. And she goes, oh my God. And I was like, what? What's wrong? She goes, never in my life have I seen two people who look so the same. By the way, my dad looks like a broader Danny DeVito, okay? And she goes, my eyes, like, I see twins, I see double, I can't believe it. And I was like, oh yeah, no, yeah. He's actually shitting into my hand. The one thing about dementia patients, right, and anyone who has ever dealt with it will know, you're always waiting for a good memory day. If you get a good memory day, it's brilliant. You try and get as much information out of the dementia patient as possible. And I was with my dad one day and he was having a good day, which is obviously rare because I don't live here anymore, so it was brilliant. And out of nowhere, he goes, you're not Grace, you're Anna. No, Anna's my little sister's name. So I was like, no, Dad, you must be getting confused, I'm Grace. He goes, no, I know you're Grace, but you should be called Anna. So I just thought, all right, he's having a moment. Leave him to it. A few minutes later, my mum comes in and I go, Mum, Dad's after saying the funniest thing. And she's like, what? I was like, okay. Dad's after saying that I should be called Anna. Isn't that funny? And she goes, no, that's right. That's right. I wanted to call you Anna. Anna's my favourite name. The hits just keep on coming. And I was like, well, what happened? Why did you call me Grace? And she goes, well, a week before you were born, your dad had to have an emergency procedure done, okay? And we were so worried I was going to go into labour. They were going to have to put your dad under. Your dad didn't want to do it. We were fighting. We were a mess. And the nurse who dealt with us put us at ease. The procedure went brilliantly. And her name was Grace. Your dad insisted we call you Grace. And I thought, that's so lovely. And I said, what was the procedure Dad had to get done? And she goes, well, your dad had a very severe fungal toenail infection. And he had to get the toenail removed. Because they didn't have laser back in the day. Which means, lads, that my generational trauma is foot trauma. Now, lads, you've been so good to be with me here at this show. I just want to say, we're filming this tonight and going to be putting it up on the social medias. If you like it, obviously share it and all that jazz. Follow me online. If you don't like it, sure, be like my dad and forget. Forget this ever happened. But I just want to leave you with this. Because, when I did move to London, I honestly thought I was owed a good time. I really thought that, which is so egotistical. Like, I'm owed nothing. Like, my dad wasn't owed dementia. My cousins were not owed cystic fibrosis. I'm not owed a good time. But I think I deserve a good time, and I think you guys deserve a good time, and I hope at my show you had a good time. So thank you so much.